Right now, without thinking about it, you just took a breath. You probably breathe through your mouth. Most people do, most of the time. It feels fine, normal, like there's nothing wrong with it. There is something wrong with it. Not catastrophically wrong. Not in a way that puts you in danger today, but wrong in a way that has been quietly reshaping your face, degrading your sleep, blunting your focus, and slowly narrowing your airways. And it started so early that you have no memory of it happening. Your body was designed to breathe through your nose. Every part of the system assumes it. The nose filters, it humidifies, it pressurizes the air before it reaches your lungs, which means your lungs actually absorb more oxygen from each breath, somewhere around 10 to 20% more, than they would get from the same volume of mouth-breathed air. The nose produces nitric oxide, a molecule your blood vessels actually need to dilate properly. None of that happens when you breathe through your mouth. And here's the part nobody talks about. Nose breathing is not just better, mouth breathing is actively changing your biology in ways that are visible, measurable, and, at least in childhood, partially reversible. Think about that for a second. Not a metaphor, not a lifestyle tip. The way you breathe is physically sculpting the bones of your face. In the late 1970s, an orthodontist named Egil Harvold ran a set of experiments that would not be approved today. He took a group of young rhesus monkeys and plugged their nostrils, sealed them, forced them to breathe entirely through their mouths for up to 2 years. Then he compared their faces to the control group, the monkeys who breathed normally. The differences were striking. The mouth-breathing monkeys developed longer, narrower faces. Their jaws grew differently. Their teeth came in crooked. Their faces dropped. Literally, the lower third of the face elongated, and their mouths hung slightly open even at rest. All of this happened not because of genetics, not because of diet, because of airflow. The mechanical pressure of air moving through the nasal passages, pressing against the palate during childhood, is part of what tells the bones of the face how to grow. Your skull is not fixed, not when you're young, it's responsive. And if the air is coming in through the wrong place, the skull responds accordingly. Now extrapolate that to the human population, to daycare kids who are chronically congested, to kids who sleep with their mouths open, to decades of pediatricians who considered mouth breathing a quirk rather than a problem worth correcting. A dentist named John Mew spent most of his career, controversial career to be fair, arguing that modern facial structure, the narrow palates and crooked teeth that make orthodontia a multi-billion-dollar industry, are partly a consequence of modern children not chewing enough hard food and not breathing correctly. His critics said he overstated the case. His supporters said the evidence was right in front of everyone's face. Literally. Here's where it gets strange. The effects don't stop at the jaw. When you breathe through your mouth while you sleep, your airway narrows. The tongue drops back. The soft tissue at the back of the throat relaxes into the open space. This is the structural precondition for snoring. And in more severe cases, for sleep apnea, which is not just snoring, it's your body repeatedly suffocating and waking itself up, sometimes dozens of times an hour without you ever consciously knowing it happened. Sleep apnea affects somewhere around 1 billion people worldwide. 1 billion. And for many of them, the root issue is not obesity, not age, not genetics, though all of those are factors, but the simple mechanical fact that they are sleeping with their mouths open and their airways are collapsing as a result. It sounds like something a conspiracy theorist made up. It isn't. A Stanford professor named Jayakar Nayak has spent years studying what happens when you change how people breathe. In one study, he and his colleagues had healthy participants deliberately breathe only through their mouths for 10 days. Plug noses, the whole thing. Every one of them developed sleep-disordered breathing, snoring, apnea events, oxygen drops. Then they switched to nasal breathing only, and within days, the problems resolved. Same people, same bodies. The only variable was the mouth. Your nervous system is also involved in this. The two nostrils are not symmetrical in their function. At any given moment, one is more open than the other. Your nasal cycle switches dominance roughly every 1 to 4 hours, an automatic process your body runs in the background like a program you never opened. The right nostril connects more strongly to the sympathetic nervous system, the alert, activated stress response side. The left nostril connects more strongly to the parasympathetic, the calm, rest, recovery side. Yogic traditions figured this out thousands of years ago. Pranayama practices involve deliberately alternating which nostril you breathe through, and for a long time Western scientists looked at this and thought it was mysticism. Then they looked more carefully, and they found that left nostril breathing does measurably shift activity toward the parasympathetic nervous system. Right nostril breathing does the opposite. The ancient practitioners were not wrong. They were, in a way, doing empirical observation without the instruments to know what they were observing. So, what do you do with this? Start with the night. Tape your mouth shut. That sounds alarming. It isn't in practice. A small strip of medical tape or a product specifically designed for the purpose, placed vertically or horizontally across the lips before sleep, is enough to gently encourage nasal breathing through the night without blocking the airway. It's been studied. People report deeper sleep, less snoring, waking up less frequently. It's cheap. It's reversible. It requires only that you are willing to feel slightly ridiculous for the first week. During the day, close your mouth, not tensely. Relax your jaw, let your tongue rest against the roof of your mouth. This is the correct resting position. Tongue up, not down, and breathe through your nose. Even during the mild exercise if you can manage it. James Nestor, who spent years researching this and wrote a book that brought a lot of this science to a general audience, trained himself to run with his mouth closed. It was uncomfortable at first, then it became normal. His blood oxygen stayed the same. His recovery improved. None of this requires anything expensive. No supplement, no device, no specialist, just the decision to close your mouth. Your ancestors, the ones who lived before modern diets, softened food into something that requires almost no chewing, before chronic allergies sent millions of children into permanent mouth breathing, before indoor air made nasal passages chronically inflamed. They mostly breathed through their noses. Not because they were trying to, because that's what the body does when nothing is blocking it. Something started blocking it, and we stopped noticing. The strange thing about breathing is that it's the one function of your autonomic nervous system you can consciously override. Your heart rate, your digestion, your immune response, those are running without your input. But breathing lives in both worlds. It runs automatically the moment you stop thinking about it, and it responds the instant you do, which means the correction is always available. It's always one breath away. Right now, without thinking about it, you just took another breath. This time, you might have noticed which way it came in.